We last left off in the epic with the short reign of King Zov, during which a famine brought about the end of the first wave of the Turanian invasion of Iran. At that point, new geographical borders were drawn between the two nations and a truce took hold. I also mentioned in one of the last commentary episodes that we are now approaching the end of the Pishdadian dynasty, the first original line of kings in the Shahnameh. When the wise and experienced King Zov dies, the throne passes directly to his son, Garshasp. With Garshasp enthroned, the truce continues to hold, and things would remain stable in Iran for 9 years. But these would not be a peaceful 9 years for the Turanian side. If you recall, Prince Afrasiyab, the strong and ruthless leader of the Turanian army, invaded Iran with the proud blessing of his father, King Pashang of Turan. You might also recall that King Pashang had another son, Afrasiyab's brother Agriras, who was wise and just, but whose appeals for peace led him to betray the Turanian army and release 1,200 Iranian nobles from captivity. To punish him for the mercy he showed the Iranians, Afrasiyab killed Agriras in a flash of violent rage, eerily similar to how his ancestor Tur murdered his brother Iraj all those generations ago. Although the famine eventually brought about a truce, and Afrasiyab seemed content with his new lands and throne, the murder of Agriras left a deep wound in King Pashang's heart. Grief, anger, hate, and despair churned inside the Turanian king as month after month he declined to send or receive any messages to or from Afrasiyab. Pashang shunned Afrasiyab, and in losing himself to the heartbreak, even let his once shining sword become dull and decay with rust. Finally, after months of messages from Afrasiyab go unanswered, Pashang declares to his son, "Any prince would benefit from having a brother and friend like Agriras by his side. Instead, you're one who sheds his own brother's blood and runs away from a white-haired knight who was raised by a bird. I sent you to battle with the enemy, and you've killed your own brother. I hereby disown you, and you shall never see my face again." This is how, over the 9 years of King Garshasp's reign, the bitterness and resentment festered between Pashang and Afrasiyab. Afrasiyab had even tried to ready another invasion before Garshasp was enthroned, but couldn't without Pashang's blessing. But as you've surely come to expect from the Shahnameh, the battle never seems to end. Once Garshasp reaches the end of his own reign of 9 years and dies, word spreads across both kingdoms. Suddenly, Afrasiyab is awakened by a message from his estranged father. "Cross the Jeyhoun River and take Iran once and for all." Immediately, Afrasiyab mobilizes the full strength of the Turanian army to take advantage of a kingless Iran once again. Word reaches Zal of Zabolistan and the rest of the Iranians that Afrasiyab is coming back with a vengeance. Quickly, they too mobilize to prepare to fend off the invasion. But this time, Zal knows what they're up against and does not want to pull any punches. At last, the white-haired knight reflects and declares, "The time has come. Iran needs my son, Rostam. We have no king, and we cannot defeat Afrasiyab alone. I have fought day and night and dreaded growing old, but now my back is bent and I can't wield my sword any longer. Thankfully, God has blessed me with a son to carry the honor." Zal goes to Rostam and says, "My son, you're not old enough to go into battle, and yet I see you as tall as a cypress tree and mighty as an elephant and ask, Why not? The people of Iran need you to wake up from your comfort, set aside the feast and milk, abandon your sports games and pleasures, and get ready to fight. Can you do this? Rostam hears Zal and bluntly responds, Father, don't forget that I was the one who killed the white elephant and took Mount Sepand. Surely the Turanians have heard of me and are terrified. I'm not about to let my reputation as a champion die now. This is the time to fight, not flee. Heroes are made in war, not food and sleep. And Zal cheerily welcomes this new mobilization in Rostam. Zal orders that the ox-headed mace carried by his father Sam now be given officially to Rostam. When Rostam sees the mace, he smiles with joy and praises his father Zal. But then he marks the only thing missing. Father, I have the mace, and my body is ready, and grace is with me. Now all I need is a steed. Zal beams with pride and immediately sets out to find Rostam a horse. As Rostam's heroic journey unfolds, that horse would join him in legend to become the most famous horse in Persian literature. And in the next episode, the two will meet for the very first time. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it or leave a review. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more Shahnameh Quest.